Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain an erotic thriller series called Dark Desire from 2022. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The fourth episode opens with Alma lying in bed with Darío in the hotel. She tells Darío that the situation they are in right now doesn't make any sense. Darío requests her to run away from all of this and make a life together where it will make sense. But Alma wants to know an explanation from him, and Darío is adamant that he has already explained. Alma gets up from the bed and checks her phone. It turns out to be her therapist. Alma tells Darío that they can't run away from this now. Darío assures her they can, as even on the news, the death is explained as suicide. Alma reminds him that they don't know what the police are thinking, so running away now will make them look suspicious. They have to go back because now is not the right time. Darío doesn't reply and slowly starts kissing Alma. Meanwhile, Leonardo is revealing to Íñigo what Darío has done to his family. Íñigo tries to argue that he has checked Dario's background thoroughly, and it's impeccable. Leonardo tells him what he knows about Darío. Íñigo is surprised at how Leonardo knows all of this. Leonardo tells him that he almost hired Darío as his assistant until he learned what kind of psychopath Darío is. He adds that except for the slim possibility that Darío has a twin, he is the same person. Íñigo starts leaving after hearing all of this, and Leonardo tries to stop him, saying they can't make Darío know that they suspect him yet. But Íñigo is furious and expresses that if what Leonardo has said is true, then he will make Darío pay for this. Leonardo asks him to give him 24 hours, until then, to hold back from doing anything. He asks who's handling the investigation, and Íñigo informs him that it's Eugenia. Íñigo asks whether he knows her, and Leonardo replies that he doesn't, but he knows someone who does very well. The scene changes to Zoe, who is explaining to Esteban that Alma is hiding something, and she could feel it. Esteban asks her whether that's the only thing that's bothering her, and she adds that Karina is also mad at her. Esteban tells her that maybe the recent news has something to do with her mom's mental situation. Zoe's also not sure whether Julieta committed suicide or not, but Esteban doesn't seem to be interested in matters regarding Darío, and he makes it clear to Zoe. Esteban then leaves to go to the washroom. Meanwhile, Zoe gets a call from Leonardo. Leonardo informs her that he's in town for some personal business. He tells Zoe that he knows that Esteban has been released and he needs to talk to Esteban. Right at that moment, Esteban is also standing in front of Zoe. She requests Esteban to just talk with Leonardo, but he disagrees. Leonardo is hearing their conversation through the call. Zoe suggests Esteban talk with him as he already knows that Esteban is present there. Leonardo calls again, and this time Esteban picks up the call. The scene changes to the doctor informing Eugenia that the DNA under Julieta's nail doesn't belong to her. Now Eugenia will need a warrant to collect samples of DNA. She gets a call from Mendoza. Mendoza informs her that the woman is leaving the hotel. Eugenia asks whether Darío is with her, and Mendoza informs that he is not. Eugenia then tells him not to follow the woman to stay near Darío, and to not leave until he does. Meanwhile, Alma is driving away, and it's revealed that Darío is also in the car, hiding in the back seats. The scene changes to Lise, who seems to be in a house of mirrors, and a young man is undressing her. They then start making love there. It turns out to be a dream, and she jumps up from the bed. The scene changes to Íñigo, who is knocking on Dario's room. He comes out after a moment and tells Íñigo that he was in the shower. Íñigo tells him that he couldn't sleep at night as today is the day of Julieta's marriage. Darío nods, saying he understands. Íñigo requests him to come with him as he has something to be done. Darío agrees, but before they can leave, Officer Jimenez comes to them asking for their DNA samples, as he has a warrant to collect the samples. The story comes back to Esteban, who has gone to meet with Leonardo. He tells Leonardo that he made it clear that he doesn't want to do anything with him. Leonardo doesn't reply and asks where his cane was, and Esteban explains that they have fixed him. Esteban tries to leave as he can't sense any seriousness from Leonardo, but Leonardo stops him. He tells Esteban that it has been 1 year since they met, and Esteban still owes him one. Meanwhile, the officers are taking DNA samples from Darío and Íñigo. Íñigo asks them whether that means that suicide has been ruled out, but Jimenez explains that nothing has been ruled out, and that's why they are being thorough. After the sample has been taken, Darío leaves to get dressed. Jimenez asks Íñigo whether they have any idea where Julieta's phone is, as it can't be found. The story goes back to Esteban, who is confirming to Leonardo that he is a man of God now. Leonardo expresses that he doesn't believe a thing and asks whether he has seen what has happened on the news. Leonardo asks him to help him find out what really happened to Julieta. He tells him that he knows that Esteban and Eugenia are close, but Esteban explains that he doesn't do that sort of thing anymore. Leonardo requests him, as this is an opportunity to destroy Darío, and Esteban instead questions him why he should mess up with Darío. Meanwhile, Zoe is asking Mao who wanted the fingernail test to be done so quickly, and Mao informs her that the prosecutor wanted this, and also, she got the DNA sample of Darío. Mao suggests that they talk about this case over lunch, as he doesn't want his boss to see him talking about this case. Zoe hesitates but agrees and asks him whether he knows what type of fractures occur during this type of case. The story goes back to Leonardo, who is telling Esteban that he knows that Esteban worked with Darío not too long ago, and that he must have betrayed him, and that's why he ended up in jail. He also asks Esteban whether he has seen or spoken to Alma. He explains that he doesn't know how Alma will react to this, but Darío will get to Alma first. And that's why Leonardo needs Esteban to stop her before she gets obsessed with Darío again. Esteban tells him that that's not his problem, and his only problem is his obsession with Alma. He tells Leonardo that he won't be able to help him with this and leaves. Meanwhile, Alma is in the group therapy session. A woman is sharing her story, and everyone is paying attention to the story except Alma. Lise notices Alma is drowned in her own thoughts. She is remembering what Darío has told her in the hotel. The scene changes to Íñigo, who is showing Darío around his family home. Julieta was also born in this house, but no one has lived in this house after his wife has passed. Darío understands and asks whether he wanted Darío to come here for any special occasion. Íñigo replies that he came here for his family's papers for the cemetery plot. Dario's phone starts ringing, and he puts it back. Íñigo notices that it's a new phone and asks about it. Darío replies that it's from the airport, as he had thought that he left his one behind, so now he has two phones. Darío then goes on and starts looking for the papers. The scene changes to Alma, who is leaving the therapy session and notices Lise waiting for her. They discuss a bit about the woman who shared her story in the session, but Alma asks Lise what the real reason behind her waiting for Alma. Lise tells her that their conversation reminds her of a quote from Oscar Wilde, where he says that a man is least himself when he is talking in his own person, and if you give him a mask, he will reveal the truth. She hugs Alma and tells her that this quote appeared in her dream last night along with Darío, and that she wants to be here for Alma. She gives Alma her cell phone and tells her to call anytime she wants and leaves. Meanwhile, Íñigo is asking Darío whether he is okay, and Darío explains that he's feeling like he can't breathe. Íñigo replies that's what his wife Elena used to say, that it was impossible to breathe here. He also adds that Elena was hiding her whole life from him. Darío tells him that he's sorry for him and notices that Íñigo has found the papers. Íñigo asks Darío whether he has anything to tell him about himself and Julieta, anything that he doesn't know about. Darío tells him to calm down and assures him that he knows everything that he needs to know, and suggests that they should go now. The scene changes to Esteban, who has entered the hotel rooftop to investigate. Meanwhile, Eugenia is discussing with other officers about the case. She explains that Julieta's friends expressed that she seemed a bit distracted in her bachelorette party, and all they know is that she drank too much alcohol mixed with her medication. She left the party right after she received a text. It means that Julieta left the party with her phone, so now the question arises, where is her phone? Jimenez tells Eugenia that they have searched the entire hotel and didn't find it. Eugenia suggests that if it isn't there, then someone must have taken the phone away before the investigation. They agree that it's a possibility that the murderer has taken away the phone. They will need a warrant for her call log and call history. Meanwhile, Alma is going through her phone. She remembers getting a call from Julieta to meet her on the hotel terrace. The scene changes back to Eugenia, saying that she doesn't understand why the rooftop doesn't have any security camera. Jimenez tells her that there was one, but it wasn't working. Then, they discuss Dario's alibi. He told them that he was going to meet Íñigo at the bar at 10:30 p.m., but instead, he went back to his room and fell asleep. Eugenia tells them that she needs them to find out everything that happened on the 10th floor that night from 10 p.m., and asks about the security footage of the 10th floor. Meanwhile, Esteban is checking the rooftop. He finds the burnt pieces of the wedding dress there. Jimenez informs Eugenia that they have got all the footage of the 10th floor, except one. Darío also went to a hotel last night. A woman has also gone there, but Eugenia doesn't think the reason was anything romantic, and Darío must have other reasons to see this woman. Eugenia thinks maybe she's an accomplice to Darío and orders them to run the license plates of these cars. The scene changes back to Esteban, who has found a pill inside the storage room of the rooftop. Meanwhile, Leonardo has gone to meet with Eugenia. After they greet each other, Leonardo gets to the point and says that he knows Esteban has studied with Eugenia at the police academy. He also says that he has important information regarding Julieta's case and requests to speak privately. Before they can leave, the forensic doctor comes and informs Eugenia that they have a match, and she leaves with the doctor. The scene changes to Alma being on her laptop. Zoe enters the house and informs Alma that she came from the forensic, and Dario was identified as the suspected killer of Giulietta. They found his DNA on one of Giulietta's fingernails. Alma remembers that Dario was wounded that night after she found him. Zoe tells Alma to talk with Leonardo as he is very worried about this and to calm him down. Alma doesn't reply to Zoe and starts leaving. Zoe finally notices that Alma has left and she also hurriedly leaves. Meanwhile, Íñigo has brought Dario to the place where Giulietta died. He tells Dario that Giulietta loved him a lot, and Dario expresses that he did too. Íñigo can't accept that her daughter died like this. Today is the day he should be walking her down the aisle, but he can't. Dario tries to calm him down, saying now is not the time, but Íñigo asks him how he can be so calm and cynical. Íñigo punches Dario and starts pushing him into the water. Dario explains that it's not him as he has seen someone who looks like Dario in the footage from the bank. Police arrive at the scene and pull them away from each other. Police then arrest Dario and bring him to the police station. In the police station, Eugenia asks Dario where he was at 11 p.m. on that night. Dario replies that everything is written in his statement, but Eugenia asks him to tell her again. Dario asks whether there is evidence against him. He then again repeats his statement to Eugenia. Meanwhile, Íñigo is watching the footage from the bank where Dario's lookalike can be seen. He remembers that it can't be Dario because at that time, Dario was in New York. Right at that moment, Alma enters the police station and tells them that she is Dario's attorney and wants to meet him but gets rejected, as he's being questioned right now. She asks how he can be questioned without his lawyer, and Jimenez suggests she talk with Eugenia. Dario tells Eugenia that there's an imposter of him. Eugenia asks whether the imposter shares the same DNA with him, and whether he also has the same wound. The episode ends with Alma entering the interrogation room and telling Eugenia that Dario wasn't at the rooftop as he was with her that night. To watch more explanations of these kinds of series, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.